Okay, it looks like it connected. Hello, welcome
Hey,
back.
Lisa.
Hi, Press. Welcome to this week's episode of Stock Talk. Do you know what episode number this is, Press? You're bet.
37, I believe.
Okay, I believe you because I stopped trying to keep track, but you seem to be doing better. If anything, if I want to know, I'll just go copy off of your page as to what episode we're on. So I am Lisa J. Stocks here with Prez the Investor. Make sure to subscribe to both of our channels. We should be from whichever side you're watching from, you should be able to find our channel links. I'm going to drop Prez's link. Let's see. Oh, we have a comment already. Good afternoon, Tim. So today's topic is what we're always talking about, smart investing in 2024 and beyond. We're going to talk about market trends, some changes, recent changes to the index um, of the Dow Jones, and just how to continue to navigate a dynamic market that we are in, because we have to um, make sure to not let anything hold us back, not let anything intimidate us, because we have to build wealth. That is our goal out here. So, Prez, how are you? Do you have any opening words to get us started?
Yes, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. You have to be informed. First of all, have a long-term mindset, but be in tune with what's going on in the short term and be prepared to pivot when it makes sense for you to pivot as far as your decisions when it comes to meeting your own financial goals and needs.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. Let's see. Just like to see that everything is working good. All right. Hi, Rod, Fast Eddie, Tim, Ken. Thanks for tuning in. So let's get started with our topic of today. And I'm sure, I think Nora was live, but I just wanted to give her a quick birthday shout out. Nora, the Stock Explorer. I hope you're having a great weekend.
Yes, happy birthday. Fast Eddie wants to know what happened to me Friday. Prez was like knocked out. I'm adjusting to this new schedule. I'm bear with me, y'all. I'm getting it together. Today is actually my Monday, while it's everyone else's Sunday. So wish me luck for tomorrow morning.
All right. So when can we expect to catch you this week before we get started, Press?
I've kept the same stream up and I just changed the date for tomorrow morning.
Okay, so you're intending on doing Monday,
I'm
Wednesday, Friday,
intending to be on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Yes.
9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes. I'm
We will
just
be
I'm just needing to adjust to this new schedule, which is coming along pretty good. When you old and you don't do something for a while and then you do it like roller skating or going out dancing or something like that, you hurt the next day.
okay. All right. So I posted the earnings calendar to my community wall. I just want to mention a few notable earnings, but you can take a look at it for yourself, because obviously if it's in your portfolio, something that you've been watching, you might have more interest in it than I do. Like, for example, Trudy is interested in Marriott's earnings. But I had written down here on Monday we have Palantir,
Hmm.
and on Wednesday we have Lift and Arm. And Palantir, speaking of, I know one of the topics we had down for today was changes to the indices. And Palantir was in the last rebalancing, or reevaluation, was added to the S&P 500. So let's get started with
I have my eyes on Hershey's this week.
her. Okay,
Hershey's reports earnings this week, and I'm a shareholder of Hershey's. I've had Hershey's for a while.
really? I don't think
Yeah,
I knew that.
in my Roth IRA
Mhm.
portfolio, it's been there for a while.
Okay. Hi, Peachy. Thanks for tuning in. So let's start with major changes to key indices since I already started to touch on that. So all of there's three major indices that give you kind of the health of the overall stock market and economy, and those are the Dow Jones, the Nasdaq, and the S&P. So I touched on this a little bit in my video that I did yesterday, but and what made me want to touch on it is that on Friday, um, NVIDIA was added to the Dow Jones and Intel was removed. And
Hmm.
so uh, Intel, I mean, NVIDIA was running up in the after hours. I think it was up nearly 3%. Let's see where it's at. Up 2.91% in the after hours. So um, each of
Amazing.
these each of these indices, they have a different uh, selection process and um, just different criteria. The Dow Jones is only 30 companies, where the S&P 500 is a little over 500 because there are certain, like Google has different classes. I think there's about 508 companies there. So, but there are ways for us to gauge what's going on and something for you to keep an eye on. And I know when Prez does his trading, he often trades the SPY, which tracks the S&P. So, Prez, what are your thoughts on this latest update to the Dow Jones indice?
That ties into what I said, my comment earlier when I said we have to be, as investors, willing to pivot when it makes sense, because I look at not only is the company profitable, but I look at how the market dominance of that particular company before I decide I want to buy it, or whether I would like to increase my position or reduce my position or what have you. And if you go throughout time, you notice different technology companies have taken the helm as far as leading that particular industry or that particular sector throughout time. At one point, it was this company. At the next point, it was like IBM. At one point, then you have Intel, and now you have Nvidia that's taking over in that space, because times are changing. New companies come and old companies tend to leave.
Mhm. Yeah, when it comes to like the semiconductor or the very specific needs that we currently have with our with technology,
Hmm.
yeah, it seems like NVIDIA is the leader of the pack when it comes to that, and they're just being able to keep up with, all the advancements and changes that are needed, so, you know, I have nothing against those old-fashioned, um, sleep well at night investments, as I call them sometimes. Fred sometimes tells me that my portfolio isn't what's gonna catch a lot of attention because it's just those, tried and true
Hmm.
things that everyone's heard of. It's not like some new hot stock. So, let's take a look at the chat.
With that being said, boring is not necessarily a bad thing. It's a more of a smart, safe thing, because you don't want to blindly invest into a company based off of hype alone, and you end up losing your money, especially if you're new, and potentially discouraging you from continuing that journey. You just cash out and just walk away like, well, I'll just continue to put money to the side and save money like I was taught traditionally to do, and you never invest again, and that's not a good.
You're saying that people what turns off people and they never invest again? I'm sorry.
When they blindly invest into companies based off of hype and speculation, and they
Mhm.
get burned, and they end up cashing out and not never to invest again, and that's not good. Or they constantly repeat those same mistakes over and over, like you're a glutton for pain. You understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like first you was in AMC, then you lost money on that. Then you jumped into SoFi, you lost money on that. Then you jumped into loose. You understand what I'm saying? It's like,
Mhm,
what are
mhm.
you, a glutton for pain? When are you gonna get it? Like, speculation isn't the way. It's high risk, high reward, but it's better to keep your risk to a minimum and go the safe route first.
Okay, okay. A resilient dad is asking if everyone ready for the dip when it comes in the next week? Guys, let us know in the chat. Are you ready for the dip? Um,
Absolutely.
so yeah, I hear what you're saying, Prez. And um, if anyone has been in that situation where something didn't go right, please don't let that turn you off to investing. I know if you're here and you're watching, most likely you're not in that situation, but um yeah, I can understand. I can understand. I think I've kind of felt like that a little bit, but thankfully I've never gotten to a place where I wanted to stop my investing altogether. Whether it's been within my 401k, never, but
Right.
myself independently, there are certain investments, like my $10 a day into VCI, there's nothing that's gonna disrupt that because I know that that's a basic investment. Now, some of those trendy, more speculative things that, I may have used not the best judgment on, held on too long, didn't have a stop loss on or whatever. Yeah, I can understand that, but thankfully I've definitely been able to be consistent and keep up with my investing and not ever let any setback that I ran into turn me off to it because I'm glad for that because there's a balance. Like right now, my Bitcoin is looking lovely, but my Ethereum is down. But that same thing with my growth portfolio. There are a few kind of looky dooky investments, my Target and my Disney, but thankfully there's 6 others that are so much stronger that I don't let that bother me at all.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna hold on to those until things do turn around. All right, so Ken, a resilient dad. Ken is ready for the dip. Anybody else ready for the dip?
Oh yes. Tim say hashtag diamond hands.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not about that. I'm not a part of any armies. I'm not diamond handsing anything. That girl, she doesn't exist any longer.
I'm so happy that I was able to get it out of my system early on and it didn't lose like thousands and on top of thousands of dollars. I didn't use my life savings, anything like that. I was just simply weekly dollar cost averaging into trash, basic point blank period, because of all of the hype that I was hearing on social media and what have you.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I just got started in investing into Nvidia January of 2024.
Hmm.
So, wish I had decided to add it sooner, but it is what it is.
I actually started investing into Nvidia. Let me see, 2022.
Mhm.
Where it was around 200 bucks and it dropped all the way down to like 100. It was 300 when I first started looking at it. This was before the split.
Split. Mhm.
Then I watched it fall all the way down to about 100 bucks. And then it rose from 100 bucks all the way up to 1,000. What was that, 1,400 or something like that it went up to before the split?
Oh, yeah, it was
Yeah.
definitely over 1,000, yeah, yeah.
I was
It
like,
was like
wow. I wish I would have bought more because it was a very small position. It was like $5 or $10 worth.
but yeah, let's not dwell on it. All we can do is move forward,
Exactly.
be consistent with those good sound investments. And if we want to find something that is you has a lot of growth potential, have our eyes
Hmm.
out to do our research and hopefully find the next thing. But there'll always be something else. If not, for me, if I don't find that next thing that has the growth of Nvidia, I'm okay with being consistent into my already chosen blue chip stocks and of course my ETFs. So, guys, if you are new here, please make sure to subscribe to both of our channels. I'm Lisa J. Stocks here with Prez the Investor, and I'm going to drop Prez's link on my side so you can have it, but it's always in the description of my videos.
I actually have a new favorite ETF.
You what? A new okay, well, let's start with what is your old favorite Prez as a
VTI.
I know,
VTI.
but we have to I wanna I'm trying to catch up anyone that's new here. And Prez, I cannot believe this. Okay, tell us about your new favorite ETF.
SPLG.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's basically the same thing. It's just like one little hair cheaper as far as the expense ratio than
Yeah,
VTI.
0.03 versus
It's
0.02.
right, but it's
Yes.
basically the same thing, and the share price is a lot cheaper than VTI. So I'll be able to accumulate more shares of
Mhm.
it versus I have to wait this amount of months before I have another share of VTI. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So after this year, I'll start taking profit off of my VTI and rolling it into SPLG until that position is completely closed out. I've had VTI for years, so got to be willing to pivot. I found something a little bit better, and it makes more sense for me personally. Not
Mhm.
telling anyone else to do it, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I feel comfortable holding that on any brokerage app that I use. So
Yes.
there
So
it
I
is.
I was Tim guessing that you were gonna say SCHD? I'm not sure what he meant by that. I didn't
No,
I didn't I didn't know.
SPLG.
I didn't know what you were gonna say. I was surprised. I was surprised that you were actually gonna say that. But and guys, I have gotten this question many times in my comments, because I often do videos, updates on FXAIX and VOO. The only reason why I did not invest into SPLG as opposed to VOO is
Mhm.
because I had not discovered it. I was not aware of it when I started my VOO position. So I have not been inclined to stop investing into VOO and start investing into SPLG, but it does have a lower expense ratio. As I said, 0.03 versus 0.02 and a lower share price per share if that is appealing to you. So but it's basically VOO is the same thing. It's the same thing. So your choice. And I mean, I've gotten criticism because I don't invest into SPLG as opposed to
What was
uh
the driving shift for me to finally make that decision was, okay, the actual share price. I would like to accumulate more shares. I'm not really particularly worried about the dividend difference. I didn't even, to be honest, I didn't even compare the dividends. That's not my concern. My concern is accumulating more shares because I started so late in my investing journey compared to others.
I don't know. We got a $2 super chat here, but I don't know if I not sure if I get your joke on your can you get can you maybe give me
That was fun.
another
That was funny.
do you have any other suggestions, Mr. Caddy? Do you have any other suggestions? But thanks for chipping in to be a sponsor of today's show.
The actual ticker symbol was KNV, I think. Kenv. The spinoff from Johnson and Johnson. You didn't get it. Never mind.
I hear you, Fraz. I hear you. Uh, okay. So Tim is putting, oh no, Dividend Ken. Tim is putting $1,000 into SCHD. I'm missing
That
some
was
of the
funny.
conversation here. How do their dividends compare? It's going to be about the same, but because of the share price is so
So much
the
lower. It's gonna look like you're getting a smaller dividend, but if you
yes,
really add it
if
up,
you look
you're
at the
really getting about the same thing. It's not
yes.
really much of a difference.
It is, but you just get that slight savings on the expense ratio,
Hmm.
but, it's gonna dividend yield. I'm like, "What is wrong with your" my I wasn't the words weren't coming out of my mouth. The dividend yield, I think, is about the same. So, really, you're just gonna save that little bit extra on the
Hmm.
expense ratio there, but everything else is gonna be the same. And like you said, Praz, and it's personal preference. If you're a person that likes to see your share sizes grow, obviously, how much is a share? Is it like it's under 100. as
Yeah, about
compared to
about $67 now, 67.16, I believe.
as compared to something that's gonna be, over
Two hu
500.
200, $500, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So, if you're starting a lot later off, just an idea, something to consider.
yes. So, let's see. So VTI, it tracks the entire US stock market, whereas,
Mhm.
Prez's new favorite is an S&P 500, investment. So just to give you a quick look, this is, um, this is SPLG, $67.16 per share, while VOO, for example, is 524.94. And me personally, I would not invest into to get exposure to, the S&P 500. Besides those 2, the only thing lower that I found is, um, FXAIX, which is 0.015, so slightly lower than the SPLG, but I
Mhm.
definitely wouldn't invest into SPY or anything higher when we know that those 3 choices are at the 0.03 or below, expense ratio. But that's again, that's just the way I would go about doing things.
The only way I can see myself actually holding the SPY long term is if I was implementing the wheel strategy where I'm selling cover calls and cash secured puts on those shares. That's the only way I can see myself giving up that expense ratio dealing with the SPY long term. But other than that, no, I'm not going to be holding it in a regular portfolio or retirement portfolio or anything like that. Just dollar cost averaging into something that's so expensive and so volatile.
Okay, okay. Sorry, I'm just checking. All right. So we really didn't talk too much about it because I said our topic right now, we were going to talk about the changes. But as I said, NVIDIA got added to the Dow.
Hmm.
Uh, Intel got removed. Another addition is Sherwin-Williams, and they are a new addition to the Dow Jones. So the
Who did they
Dow,
replace?
uh, Dow Inc. Dow Inc., which is a company.
Oh, okay, chemicals like cleaning supplies, your cleaning supplies and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was a company I wasn't familiar with. I only looked it up yesterday for the first time, and I
I'm
didn't
familiar
even.
with it. It's
Yeah,
it's
okay.
basically like your household cleaning products and stuff like that. Like they make the foam and bubble spray that goes in your shower, and they make stuff like that.
Mhm. So, yeah, I don't and plan on ever seeking out any ETF that tracks the Dow, but I'm
Hmm.
interested in it because it is one of the major indices and just seeing,
Right.
what's getting added and what's going on with it. When you invest, if you do find an decide to invest into an ETF that tracks it, you will not be getting any exposure to utilities or transportation, but there are many other sectors, but,
Hmm.
um me, Prez and I, we seem to have our favorites there with the S&P 500, however you're getting exposure to it, as well as VTI. So, what other topics did I had here? Market trends. So, I know there was, I don't know, Prez, I know you've been busy working long days and stuff, so I don't wanna start popping up with a bunch of stuff that maybe you haven't been watching the news and the market
I
so
still
closely.
have a general idea on what's been going on, and basically it's all like politically driven right now for the
Yeah.
most part, as well as inflation and the job market. The job market is in case you've been living under a rock, the job market is tight. It's tight. It's hard to find a job. So if you're currently working a job, deal with it until you got a sure way out of it. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you just up and just leave a job at the drop of a hat, well, I could find another job in a week or 2 weeks. It may not happen for you.
Absolutely not. Yeah, that's what I wanted to touch on. That's what I was gonna say is that the jobs report came out, at the end of the last week, and the numbers that they put out, it is just I don't know. It's just one of those statistics or information that you feel like this can't be right. Where are they getting this information from? And then come to find out they are admitting that the numbers are significantly skewed and
Numbers do lie.
yes, yes, they can. They can.
Numbers definitely do lie. So that
Mhm.
phrase that I hear a lot of people repeat or regurgitate, numbers don't lie. Yes, they do. Yeah, they do.
Okay. All right, guys, can we please get the likes up? I think there's about 19 people watching on Prez's side, and I'm only seeing 9 likes right now. And I don't know what's going on my side 'cause I can't like I'm trying to pay attention, but can everybody take a quick second? If we're
Take
on
your phone
vertical.
like this and
We're
poke it.
exactly. Prez reminded me that we don't even have to close the chat. We are on vertical.
You
Double
can
tap
double
that
tap your
screen.
screen.
Um and if you are new here and you are not subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel. So, what else do I have, Prez? Any topics that you want to touch on from our plans for the week here?
I'm really impressed about Nvidia. Well, we already covered that.
Mhm.
Um, Building a portfolio in a shifting market. Was you ready to move on to that one?
Sure, sure. What point number is that? Do you know?
I believe that's number 5.
Number 5. Okay.
Start with ETFs. I mean, we've said this week in, week out. Start with an ETF. It don't. I hate when people ask me. I don't get mad, but I hate when people ask me, what should I start with? What should I buy first? Duh. You've been hearing me talk about baskets of stocks for I don't how long now?
Mhm.
You can't go wrong. You pretty much can't go wrong if you start with an ETF until you learn how to research a company. Is this company worth it? Does it make sense for me? You understand what I'm saying? Until you learn how to do that, because that's tedious in itself. But I feel as though you should take the time out at some point to actually learn. But if you never want to do so, if you that lazy as far as I don't want to never learn how to research a company,
Okay,
just say
Prez.
always good to buy ETF.
Prez, let's not call the people lazy.
I'm not calling anyone lazy per se personally, but
I'm just kidding. Um,
you
I
know how
agree
we
with
like to make excuses.
yes, I
It's so
agree.
hard. It's so hard. I don't have the time. Every excuse. Okay, well, just buy ETF. It's really that simple.
I agree with you 100%. Even if you do feel like, you have some things you wanna do research on, you wanna learn, um, listen, in my opinion, I don't care how much money you have, um, I don't care how much money you have. What the smallest amount you can get started with an ETF, like Prez
Hmm.
mentioned here. So and you can invest $5, $10 on a regular basis just to get started, and then
Some
figure
places $1.
yes, $1.
Some platforms will let you invest $1 a day.
Yes, I have invested as little as $2.50 on Fidelity before, but I think $1 is their minimum.
Your new
Ah,
response would be
Press.
run me to N20. I don't understand that. Shout out to Daddy and the Caddy. Thank you for the super chat. I don't understand nothing you just said. I'm trying to make sense of it.
Well, uh, yeah. So, and guys, I know there are other reasons other than the share price, like we were talking about with SPLG and VOO, the
Mhm.
lower share price. But no matter whether it's $60, we just had a stock split on SCHD, which I see a few people have mentioned in the chat today. It's another fan fave out there. It went
Mm.
from $80 down into the $30 range, but um, whatever the price of the stock, you can get started. Don't let that turn you off and feel like I can't invest. Right now I'm investing into Bitcoin. It's 60 something thousand dollars, 68 or 69. I haven't looked at it
I
in a
have
couple hours.
nowhere near even a half of a Bitcoin, but eventually, one day I will, hopefully. I'm not going to stop. Even if I never do, I'm still never going to stop because that's still going to appreciate in value at the end of the day.
Okay.
How long is it going to take? Who knows? All we have is speculation and predictions. We have some people saying it's going to be, well, it was going to be 150,000 over the summer. This summer that just passed, it didn't hit it. Now you hear people saying it's going to be over $1 million per Bitcoin by year 2035. You hear a lot of speculation, but you never know at the end of the day. But if you don't invest, then you'll never have that appreciation. You'll just be missing out.
Exactly, exactly. Everyone's budget is different. Everyone's income is different. Everyone's circumstances is different, but we can all invest and
Hmm.
not try to compare ourselves, not try to keep up with the next person. Um,
Okay, I understand what you're saying now. Thank you again for another super chat, Daddy and the Caddy.
Daddy in the caddy wants to make sure that he is highlighted today. Okay. Appreciate you
I
again.
appreciate that. I greatly appreciate it.
As I said, we often do lots of shows. Out of the 37 shows, Prez and I were not monetized for so much of it. So
Hmm.
when now that you guys are able to sponsor a show, know that you are always appreciated for tuning in and supporting us in any way that you can. So with that, let me also mention you can check out our referral links if you're ready to open up a new brokerage account for just because you want to set up something different. Like for example, I do my dividend portfolio separate from my growth portfolio. There are so many good research tools and things that are available to you, features like automating your investments. So make sure to check out our referral links for the investment platforms that we use, as well as channel membership. So back to our topic. But yeah, don't let any hype make you make decisions that you otherwise would not be making. Take the time to make sound investments, and an ETF, basic, simple, sound investment that you can get started with any amount of money. I often hear people just nervous about, I don't want to put my social security number into the account. Oh, I just, when this happens, and I don't know. I just didn't do it. I just jumped into it. If like with the different challenges that I've done in the Discord. The challenge is announced and that's it. I'm just jumping in and I'm just getting started with it. I'm not gonna wait for, oh, maybe when I get a raise or whenever this circumstance changes, I'm just gonna get started with it. So um, what are you
Look at it
grinning?
like this. When you buy a car, then you use your social security number. When you bought your house or the place where you rent from, didn't you use the social security number? Yeah. When you got your job, then you use your social security number. Okay, well, when you're buying stocks, you're actually buying companies. So wouldn't you would like to use your social security number for that too, so that you can prove that you own a piece of this company? It's not rocket science. Get rid of that nasty hang up of using your social security number and putting in your personal identification. Research the broker that you're using. And if it's a tried and true broker, start with a good legacy broker first. Before I recommend you to use any referral links or anything like that. They're there if you need them, if you would like to capitalize on the referral bonus. Um, but get rid of that hang up. If that's what's holding
Mhm.
you back from starting investing, let it end today.
Yes. So I have a bulk of my retirement investments at Fidelity, but I would not be using any of the other brokerages that I mentioned if I had any fear of losing any money, because I would say at this point, each one has several $1,000s on them. So nothing that I would want to take lightly as a place that I am using for my investments. And same thing comes with my savings.
Hmm.
You're going to want to make sure that you're with a reputable company, of course, that is insured so that you don't have any worries. And I happen to right now be using Discover. So, Prez, I know you made a change. Oh well, I'm not going to touch on that. Um, so
Any books? The first book that I actually read, and I highly recommend it, was Rich Dad Poor Dad. That was the actual first book that I actually ordered and flipped through pages, not the audio. I actually read it, and I still own a physical copy of that book, and it changed the way that I was thinking at that point in my life. Like, am I going to stay on this hamster wheel forever, or am I going to figure out a way to get off of it?
okay. So maybe we can put together a few book recommendations and post them on the community wall.
Hmm.
I know that yeah. I am not really I am unlike Press. If I give you a book recommendation, I listen to it on audio because I'm not a physical book person. I
I
love to.
do too. I just wanted that physical copy.
Mhm,
I just wanted that physical copy. I briefly listened to a little bit of the audio, but it sounded like
mhm.
I wanted to make sure it wasn't anything missing. So I just decided I said, I'm gonna stop this and I'm gonna just order the book and wait for the book to come. And that's how I did it.
Okay.
So I
Fast.
went the audio route first, but I couldn't get through it. Like I was like, I need the physical copy.
Thank you for multitasking over there, Fast Eddie. Are you giving us football scores over here?
Oh, I knew what the score was.
Listen, guys, you don't know. Prez will be watching the football game and very engaged and in here with me on this live stream because we decided that football season is not disrupting our weekly show.
Right. They made their money already.
Hmm. So
They can't say let's go Baltimore.
I know, like I was talking about earlier, there are different criteria into getting added into these different indices. But for me, hearing that Nvidia got into something that only holds 30, it kind of seems very impactful. So
Hmm.
as opposed to, getting into the range where you're in the S&P 500, even though it's been at the top of that one is weighted by market cap, but just very impressive. And I'm interested to see where the stock continues to go over the next few weeks. But this is going to be a crazy week. Do you anticipate doing any trading, or is there any particular day of the week where you definitely will not be trading, Press?
I have to double check as far as economic data coming up this week.
Mhm.
Um, Other than that, is if nothing of importance is coming up, like a pharmacy meeting or something like that, then I'm scheduled to be at least attempting to look for a trade this week. So
Okay.
not pressed, but if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. At the end of the day, I've always been like that, even when trading was my primary source of income. I'm not gonna get out here and just blow my account because I need the money. It don't work like that.
I'm looking at this comment from Killer Centra. I've been hearing they say if Kamala is in the is the winner of the
Mhm.
election, that cannabis stocks are, something to keep your eye on. I haven't had any in my portfolio in some years now. I did trade, I'm not even sure what it was, but I did trade some stocks in that area a few years back. Have you ever held any long term, or were they
Nope.
all trades for you?
I don't think so. It's still, even with that rumor floating around, I still think it's hype because in a lot of states it's already legal. So
Hmm.
in a lot of states it's already, it's not up to the federal, it's up to the states. They made that law years ago. It's up to state by state, and each state is slowly but surely legalizing it and decriminalizing it for recreational use now. To where
Yeah,
some states you don't even need a card anymore. So it's just hype for me.
yeah. I even heard in some states, you can even they even allow you don't even have to go physically, that you can have a delivery service and all.
Exactly.
There's so much flexibility with it. I'm sure lots of people never thought that they would see the day
I
that
know someone who gets it delivered.
deliver. Okay.
It
But all right. So
has
guys,
me with Nvidia being added to the Dow. When I first saw that headline, it
mhm,
has me. I actually said it out loud to the naysayers out there. Do you believe them now? Do you believe now? Like, look at the computer chips. All the different companies that are using Nvidia's computer chips.
yeah, the local weed man out of business. Yeah, Tim. Well, that depends on, how classy you are and what kind
Yeah,
what
because
what
they're still around. They're still they are still around. Because in a lot of instances, you can still get it cheaper on the street than you can from a legal dispensary. So
but yeah, let's not encourage that. Let's hope that the dispensary has some, criteria and limitations that they are following in order to have more quality and, I don't know. Uh,
shout out to the one. I actually have that book written down on a list that I of books that I would like to purchase in the future.
what's the name of the book?
Warren Buffett and the
Oh,
Interpretation of Financial Statements. This book explains how to read and break down a company 11K financial statement. Easy read.
okay.
I don't even have to use my notepad today. I already have it written down on books that I
Oh,
need to acquire.
okay. Okay, so guys, short show today. I know Prez has to get ready for work, but as always, tune in on Sundays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will be coming to you with more topics. Feel free to drop us a comment and let us know what topics you would like us to cover. If there's anything on your minds, just just engage and just
Leave a
just
comment. I
just
respond.
comment. It helps the algorithm. It helps to show that there are people interested even after the show goes off. But Prez, any thoughts on future shows? What do you think of today's topic? What is on your minds about what we covered today?
Everything was great. It's in my opinion. Everything great topic, great show. Hopefully it was some value to someone out there.
Okay. All right then, guys. We will see you next week. Well, you can see Prez tomorrow morning, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live trading over on his channel. And make sure to have that notification bell on so that you can keep up with our live streams as well as recorded content. And we will see you soon. Thanks for tuning in.